perfect for the beginner, for you who would like to try out some jewelry making method technique. You can start here. All you need for this project is 20 gauge wire for the frame and 28 gauge wire for the wire wrap. It doesn't need to be soldered. Hello everyone, welcome to Siebijouxyt Studio Diaries. I'm C. I am the person behind Siebijouxyt. I am making jewelries and I display them online, and they are all available for you to purchase. But today, I do not want to sell any jewelries. I would like to share how I make these particular earrings that I have just sold last week. Let me show you. This stud earrings has been in my store for a while and I have sold a couple of them, and I don't think that I want to get rid of this from my Etsy store, but I'm thinking about changing up a little bit of the color. All you need for this project is 20 gauge wire for the frame and 28 gauge wire for the wire wrap. It doesn't need to be soldered, so don't worry about it. It's perfect for the beginner, for you who would like to try out some jewelry making method technique and not sure how to start it. You can start here. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to work. For this work, you just need to prepare a couple of tools. First is the flat nose pliers, the second the round nose pliers, and you will also need the wire cutters. And another thing, you need to have a hammer and of course the anvil. Another thing that I would really recommend you to make your work easier is to get this 3-steps pliers. It's a funny pliers, it's true. It has like a 3 sides of the diameter. I'm going to measure this for you. The first one is 5 millimeters and the second one is 7 millimeters, and the third one it's 1 centimeter, which is 10 millimeters. So it came in really handy for me. For any work that I do, I always use this most of the times. If you want to buy anything more than the flat nose, round nose, and the cutters, I would recommend you to get this. Here I have prepared a couple of combination. So I have already made one pair, so I'm gonna make another half pair for this combination, and with this I'm making it with yellow gold filled. Alright, start with the gold filled wire. I'm gonna grab my ruler, and this is 4.5 centimeter.
The first step that needs to be done after cutting the wire is to smoothen the edges. I'm using the 2 millimeter burr cup, but if you don't have it, don't worry, you can always smoothen it with a normal file needle. Next is to mark the first 1 centimeter from the edge using Sharpie. Now on the other side of the edge, make a curve like this. Now this is tricky. We want to make the same curve from the mark that we made earlier. This is how it looked like. Now we want to take the flat nose pliers and pinch right on the mark and fold it perpendicularly to the curve. In case you miss a step, you're welcome to pause here and take a moment to reproduce the shape before continuing. Okay, let's move on. Using the 3-steps pliers, try to find the middle point between the two curves and fold the two segments so that the curve meets in the middle. Diary keepers, I have to admit that I missed it. So what I do is I'm fixing those curve using the same pliers. There is no rule to perfectly shape a wire. I feel like the only thing that counts is practice. The shape that we are aiming at is the top part of the stud has to have a larger half circle and smaller at the bottom. Next step is the hardening. If you have a half hard wire, this process will take shorter time. If you have a dead soft wire, I would recommend you to take time hardening the shape of this wire. Now that we have our frame ready, let's wire wrap these bad boys. The fun part, but also the most complicated one. But we can do this. I think we can use somewhat 20 centimeter at length of the 28 gauge wire. However, I'm very pessimistic here. You can cut shorter wire because I always have a very long leftover. In short, I don't know what is the exact length we need. It's between 15 to 20, I think.
Yeah, before I forgot, you might also need to use the loop here so that it's easier for you to look at the items because it's very small. The diameter of this is around, let's see, I'll tell you right now, 8.5 millimeters. So it's quite small. And if you were like me, you don't have good eyes, this tool is very helpful.
Alright, this will be very complicated to explain, but I'm going to try. The first step, I am wire wrapping 3 loops on the shoulder part, which is the part that doesn't have a stud, and make sure that the leftover wire, which is the long wire, is coming inside from the back of the hoops to the front. So, meaning that when the wire wrap is done, there's going to be the tail that is coming from the back where the stud is to the front where you're going to put your earlobe is. This is the result of the first part of the wire wrap. You're welcome to pause this part to see in detail how it looked like. The second step is to take the wire and loop it twice on the stud. The direction is from bottom to top. So if the hoop is facing me like how it looked like on camera, then I am going to be wrapping it counterclockwise. Twice. Don't forget to tighten the wire, and you can pinch it also with the flat nose pliers to make it tighter. The third step, coming from top of the hoops to the bottom and wrap it 3 times. So this is how it looked like after the 3 steps. Once again, you can pause here in order to see it in detail. Alright, let's thread in our first stone. I'm using this freshwater pearl. The diameter is 7 millimeters. It's very beautiful, super luster, and very white. And apparently it's quite round. This is the roundest that I can find. And to set this pearl, I'm wire wrapping it in diagonal to the wall of the hoops. And I always wire wrap from front to the bottom. I'm wire wrapping it 2 times, and in the end, the wires should come from back to the front, like this. The next stone to thread is two at the same time. I'm choosing this Swarovski crystal and turquoise color, and the second color is fuchsia. The size of the stone is 4 millimeters. The two crystals has to fit within the frame. If it isn't, you can trick it by bending the wire and set it by wire wrapping it from front to back. Make sure that you are wrapping it up towards the stud. Now here is the tricky part. Pass the wire in between the three holes. It's going to look like this. Be careful. And we're going to thread in the last crystal. The tricky part of this style is that all the 4 beads has to fit within the frame. This looks good to me, so I'm going to set the stone by wire wrapping it from front to the back 2 times on the right side of the hoops. And go back to the left side of the hoops to wire wrap 2 more times. Make sure that this is tight. So I'm pulling it slightly. It look like this. And I'm cutting off the leftover wire. I'm going to also tuck in the wire so that it will be comfortable to wear. This is it. This is how it look like.
And here I am wearing the earrings that we made together. Since then, I've created 3 more pairs with the same style but different colors. I will leave the image here so that you can pick up your favorite. I would love to know which one speaks the most to you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to support this video by liking it or sharing to anybody who you think might benefit from this video. And subscribe if you have not already done so. In the meantime, stay creative, be kind to yourself and others, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye. Hi diary keepers, I would like to ask for your favors. Please pick your favorite from 4 of these pair of earrings. I would love to know your style, your taste. So go ahead and pick that and leave it on the comment below. Thank you so much. And if you're curious of which one is my favorite, it's this one right here, the one that I wear.